Don't Be Salty About Regulation, a video lecture project on salt regulation in aquatic animals by Rachel Wentzell and Cassidy Beson.
Habitat salinity is a major abiotic factor governing the activity, physiology, biology, and distribution of aquatic animals. For many animals, their environment involves a range of salinity. For this reason, there must be ways for animals to regulate their salt levels internally. Different organisms live in different environments. For aquatic environments, this includes fresh and marine water. In these environments, organisms employ specific patterns of controlling the concentration of water and salt so that their body fluids do not become too dilute or too concentrated through the environment as a media.
There are two main categories of salt regulators. An animal can be an osmoregulator or an osmoconformer. Osmoregulators are mostly vertebrates and have the ability to regulate their blood salinity in a defined range, regardless of their environment, whereas osmoconformers are mostly invertebrates and are unable to regulate their salinity levels. Osmoconformers will conform to their environment's salinity, resulting in similar internal and external salinities. These processes occur in organisms depending on the environment in which an organism lives, like fresh or salt water.
Similar to what we learned in class, urohalines can tolerate a wide range of external salinity by osmoregulating. Most urohalines are shallow water coastal organisms, as coastal environments experience greater salinity variation than the open ocean or deep waters. In contrast, stenohalines can tolerate only a narrow range of external salinity, making them osmoconformers. They are found in open oceans and deep waters due to the smaller changes in salinity. Not all animals encounter osmotic stress. For many marine invertebrates that osmoconform, such as sponges and jellyfish, achieving homeostasis with respect to water and solute balance is relatively straightforward. Seawater is a fairly constant ionic and osmotic environment, and the concentrations of solute found in these animals nearly match those of the sea.
The solute concentrations, including salt, inside and outside osmoconformers are equal. This is how osmoconformers regulate their salt levels, and because of this, osmosis does not alter water and solute balance and induce osmotic stress in these animals. So as you can see, aquatic animals will regulate salt differently according to their environments and the challenges that they face there. For example, freshwater and saltwater fish have different ways of regulating.
To start, freshwater fish face the problem of gaining water by osmosis and losing electrolytes by diffusion. This is due to the low salinity of their external environment. To deal with this osmotic stress, these fish will osmoregulate. They will pump in salt through their gills via active transport, and their kidneys will produce large amounts of dilute urine. By doing this, it helps them to survive in their environments such as lakes, ponds, and rivers.
Opposite to freshwater fish, saltwater fish face the problem of losing water by osmosis and gaining electrolytes by diffusion. This is due to the high salinity of their external environment. To help fix this, these fish will also osmoregulate, but in a slightly different way. They will pump out salt through their gills via active transport, and their kidneys will produce small amounts of concentrated urine. This helps them to survive their environment of high salinity, such as oceans and salt marshes.
There are other ways to maintain osmolarity in a high salt environment. For example, sharks use their gills and also possess rectal glands that can excrete salt into their environment.
Seabirds are also considered aquatic animals and therefore must be able to regulate salt water as well. A seabird can spend anywhere from a month to years at the open sea, mostly only returning to land to mate or give birth. Seabirds consume large amounts of salt when drinking seawater and consuming marine animals. Birds obviously do not possess gills and need other ways of regulating salt water. Unlike fish, their kidneys are not able to concentrate such high levels of salt in the urine, and therefore seabirds have salt glands. These are located above each eye, and the tears they produce contain about twice the amount of salt than the seawater. Depending on the species of bird, they can use external or internal nostrils to excrete the salt solution. By having these glands, it helps seabirds to excrete high amounts of salt and thereby regulating their internal salt content.
Marine reptiles, such as crocodiles and turtles, also spend the majority of their lives in aquatic environments. They rely on these environments for their food and water. And just like birds, they too have salt glands to regulate their internal salinity levels. Another neat example is the sea snake, which excretes excess salt that they acquire while feeding by salt glands located underneath their tongue.
By having these many different mechanisms of internal salt regulation, like osmoconforming and osmoregulating, it helps aquatic animals to maintain a steady state of homeostasis. All of these adaptations are done to help animals to live comfortably and to survive in their environments, whether that be a pond in your backyard or an open ocean.